So about 20 years ago, me and my wife started out and so we said, we're gonna break down these walls and we're gonna pull all these ages and these races in one building. And music and sound and our video has been a huge part of blurring those lines and getting all these peoples to come together. Now we have gotten to a place, when I started, it used to be if you wanted to build a church, build a building, fill it up, and build a bigger building. Now the vast majority of the people that I speak to, because of our AV equipment, are outside of a roof, not inside of it. But for the millennials, we shifted about 5 years ago and said we're really gonna go hard after the millennials. And one of the things we thought we had to do was drastically change our look and make a great investment in that area. Not a little tweaking, but let people know we really meant what we said and go after this video-friendly age of millennials that do everything by phone and consequently do church by phone. The first 2 quarters of this year, 76% of our new constituency were millennials. 4 to 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been even close. That number would have been probably less than 15. So a lot of the video investment that we've made and tried to become tech savvy to go after a new generation, we are just now beginning to see the real fruit and the real return on our investment.
Our approach today is different than it was in the past. Everything that we did geared up to the main event, and that main event was our 30-minute television, our weekly broadcast. That was the main event. Now I see that television broadcast as a net. And I'm casting that net out there and I'm trying to drive all of that traffic back to social media. We've got a Facebook live feed. We've got the live iChurch that we have that you can watch and chat during the live services. We've got all the mobile apps. We've got on demand. We've got television. And we're probably reaching 300,000 to 400,000 people every week.
How do we get people close to Pastor? How do we get 4,000 good camera shots? How do we translate on social media? And so all these things kind of work together as the choices of equipment, and Panasonic had the solutions.
We started our media department in 1998, and we started with 20-year-old technology at the time and made it work. You know, I think everybody's kind of been there in the past, had to make something work. And as we evolved, I think it was around 2008, we finally jumped into 720, and so we were sitting here a decade later and going, well, feel like we're behind the curve again. You know, most everybody's in 1080 and we're still doing 720. The only problem is I didn't want to spend the money on 1080 and then turn around and go back to my pastor in 2 years and go, okay, well, it looks like 4K is coming on the scene now and everybody's ready to do that. So we decided it would make sense just to jump and just going into 4K if we could. And so we needed to be able to make that move. We got all excited about it because we started looking at stuff, figured out we had the funds to make it happen. Only one problem: none of the networks were accepting 4K. So we were sitting here going, wow, we're gonna buy a 4K product and then we have nothing we can do with it except for bump it back down. And so we contacted our friends at AE Global Media. They came in. They contacted Panasonic after learning everything that we were, experiencing and what our vision was, where we wanted to go. We have 13 cameras in the shoot. Some are small POV type cameras. We also found a lot of success with the Panasonic P2, which we put into play before, another workhorse of a camera because of the reliability of what Panasonic brings to the table. But we needed something that was going to get the job done. So we had our 2 main cameras, our 2 handhelds, our jib. We needed something that was going to be a heavy-duty camera that would not only be lightweight as possible, but be a workhorse that would get us what we were looking for. And we found all of that in the UC3000s. But the cool thing about our cameras is they do 1080 and 4K. So we were able to make the 1080 move. And now when we're ready to make the 4K move on television, we don't have to come back and spend the additional money. We just flip a switch.
When we saw the 4K, when we saw Panasonic's new projectors, the lasers, we just fell in love with those things. And then when you coupled them with the new camera that would give us 1080 and 4K at the same time, it solved several problems and several issues in the design. So in the design, having the live congregation be able to worship and have that intimacy in a 4,000 seat room, feeling like you're right there with pastor. He's a very intimate communicator. He likes it when you're close. And so bringing all these people close to pastor through video, it was a powerful tool, and it was a great thing Panasonic did to be able to make these things integrate well, and it was a very easily integrated project as well.
The RQ32s that we ended up getting from Panasonic are unbelievable. I mean, you can see everything. You look at some shirts and you can't see the design in the shirts. You can see the thread in a shirt looking at it through those cameras into those projectors. It is just unbelievable. The HS 6000 switcher, when they brought it in and installed it, I mean, I was like, that's like looking down on New York City. I mean, what am I going to do with all these buttons? I mean, we basically go from camera 1 to 2 to 5 to 4 to 7, back and forth. And so when I got looking at the switcher, the key functionality on the switcher is excellent. Great keying on this switcher, but it's got the different MEs, and then it's got the aux out. So you got ME1, you got ME2, and then you got all of these aux out channels. And I'm sitting up here going, we're never going to use all these outputs. But let me tell you, we're fastly filling them up.
As far as I know, Redemption Church is the only church in America worshiping the way they are with combinations of resolutions 4K. Having this live 4K worship experience, then broadcasting with social media, broadcasting over the major networks and internet, it's the only one doing what it's doing.
And there's one thing I'm absolutely sure of. Partnerships are vital through companies like AE Global, and I think we can all count on Panasonic to step up to the plate. Whatever the future holds, they're going to be there before we are. You can count on it.
So we are a happy bunch of people here at Redemption because we think we've got something as good as anybody anywhere in the world is putting out, and we're proud of it.